So I'm doing a pick a card reading message from your higher self. And we're just going to get right into it. So the cards are actually going to be decks. So you can either use for deck number one, which would be pile number one, it is the Work Your Light Tarot. Work Your Light. Deck number two will be the Goddess Power Oracle. Did I say tarot? The Work Your Light Oracle. These are all Oracle decks. So Work Your Light is pile number one. Pile number two is Goddess Power. And pile number three is the Angel Oracle. The Angel Oracle deck. They're quite old, so they're all used up. Yeah, so pile number one, Work Your Light. Pile number two, Goddess Power. Pile number three, Angel Oracle. Okay, let's get started with pile number one. Sorry. Well, look at that. There was 111 right there. Okay, so your guiding light, the shooting star in the darkness. What is your guiding light? I feel like a little bit of a feeling right there. It's not painful. It's kind of like, okay, maybe it's a little painful. It's kind of just like a feeling of a headache. Sisterhood of the Rose. Beauty, devotion, priestess, and mystic and teacher. Leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. Aww. For some reason, the first thing that came to mind was making new friends. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, what was that? Ooh. Is that a sign? And then there's retreat, deep replenishment, be held. Look at all these cards that just fell out. I mean, I can't take them all. I just won't. But I think that that was a sign. So I think that there is an energy of being bold enough and trusting in yourself enough to make new friends and trust that those friendships are going to be nourishing to your spirit and that they are going to bring in an energy of revitalization that is much needed. But there's this energy of kind of having to make the first move. More so because the move being that you need to step into a space that that feels kind of in alignment with like your dream life or with your dream world. Like if you have this vision of your life that you really, really desire, then you know that what they say, like you have to do it in steps. So you have to start living the way that you dream to live. So if you want to be an artist, then you have to start putting yourself in the life of an artist. And so maybe you join like a pottery making class or something like that. And at that pottery making class, maybe you find people that you're really connected to. And that's kind of the leap that you need to make first. There's this energy of going out and socializing in spaces that honor your light, going out and being a part of and joining spaces that make you feel good and that kind of remind you of your dreams. It's kind of like the star card. Like it's like you have all of these hopes and wishes that you're sending out into the universe. And the universe wants to send you a miracle, but they have to be met halfway because you're all the way down here in the 3D and the universe is everywhere. But from where your gift is coming, it's coming from a place that needs to be, you need to reach out and extend your hand so they can place it in your hand. So there's this energy of going into a different kind of energy. There's this energy of going into a different space in your life where there's more dreamy energy, there's more star-like energy. And it has to do with finding this social circle, finding this group of friends that truly understand you and that you can co create with magically, spiritually. It's like finding your coven. But in order to find your coven, you need to be where they would be and where people who are living in their truth would be. What would they be doing? The same things that you would want to be doing. So you need to go do those things. Yeah. And there's this energy of like, you will find that in these spaces and in these friendships, the the level of safety that you've learned, that you've grown to have within yourself, you will find that within these friendships, because there's part of you that might be kind of holding back because you've gone through this period of becoming so safe within yourself and feeling so secure within yourself, that you're like, you don't want to go out and socialize because you don't want anything to kind of come and try and destroy that safety, that sanctuary that you've built. And because you're just comfortable with yourself now, like you've learned how to be comfortable with yourself, and now you are to the point where you could kind of probably stand to be alone. But Spirit doesn't want you to be alone, and you don't really want to be alone. And so there's this energy of, first of all, switching the way that you think about friendships and how they will interact with your life, and learning that friendships are something to add to your life and something to add to this feeling of safety and wholeness within you, not something to take away from that and not something to threaten that, and that you feel safe within friendships, and that friendships make you feel empowered. You know, redefining friendships and the energy around it, if there's been a traumatized energy connected to that, because right now is the time of reconvening and reconnecting with people, with finding community. Yeah, and trusting that your boundaries will remain. Been talking, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Boundaries, where do you need to establish better boundaries? And there's this energy of like, sometimes we have boundaries so strong that they transform from being boundaries into barriers and blockages that prevent us from allowing other people in. And we create such a sanctuary within ourselves that it actually becomes like a prison. Like like there's this episode of is it Black Mirror? It's one of those shows. There's this episode where this person is like locked into their home, and they have like a smart home that basically like creates their whole life for them, and because there's this apocalypse. But then the apocalypse ends and the person remains in that home because they are too afraid to go outside, and they just don't trust in the outside world. And you don't want to become isolated. And sometimes when we have boundaries that are so strong, they're not even boundaries anymore. They become defense mechanisms, and they become coping mechanisms to handle the fact that we're afraid to be out in the world again and to be hurt again. But there's this idea of remembering that you've done so much work to become so strong within yourself and so centered within yourself that nothing can come in and destroy that. And this is kind of the time where you have to trust in the work that you've done and kind of put your healing to the test, and see whether you can really handle being back out in the big, great wide world again. Is all that healing that you've done, has it done anything to really protect you? Because healing isn't just, for when you're inside and you're alone and you're hermiting. Healing is for when you're out in the world so that you can feel protected when you're socializing, when you're engaging with life. And so there's this energy of going out and re-engaging with life and allowing yourself to be triggered by the presence of others, and remembering that triggering doesn't always have to be a negative thing. Sometimes you are triggered into a space of joy. Sometimes you are triggered into a space of inner peace. Or sometimes you are triggered into a space of love because of others, but you need other people. And it's like this next phase of your life, Spirit is like, you need others around. You need a community. This next phase of your life is not meant to be done alone. This next season of your life is not meant to be done alone. So it's time to find that home and that community within others. Any remaining messages for pile 1? Yep, the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hints, soul tribe. There we go. See, you're finding your people. And it's funny because you might actually, like for some of you, you might literally be in the same space, in the same country, in the same city as these people. Or if not in a physical location, in the same digital location, like you could be following the same YouTubers, you could be watching the same readings, you could be interested in the same things. And so you're in the same space, but you can't see each other yet. And the only reason why you can't see each other yet is because you're still in this position of feeling like you are manifesting it instead of realizing that it has been manifested and it's time for you to go out and claim your manifestation. Sometimes it's hard to transition from being in the position of the manifester to the position of someone who is manifested, and to recognize your manifestation and claim it for yourself. You all kind of need to get out of your personal bubble of dreaming and into this space of, oh wow, the reality that I want, it's here and it's possible. It requires movement though to go get it, to go grab it, And this shows up in the way of like, oh wow, I have enough money to sign up for this art class that, would be really interesting, would be really fun and fulfilling for me. Let me go sign up for it. Let me invest and spend the money to do it. And when you sign up, you might meet a friend there that ends up feeling like a soulmate, and they might introduce you to more people, or together you go out and then you find other things. I just saw 1111. You've come into alignment through dreaming, but also through action. And the action is just kind of choosing yourself, choosing to do something for yourself that brings you out of isolation and into connection with others. And it's time to be seen, like what would happen to the butterfly if it remained in the cocoon forever? The butterfly needs to come out of the cocoon, not just because it needs to go out and find food and survive and live and breathe, but also because it needs to be seen. There's this energy of like, the butterfly is one of those magnificent creatures that it's such a gift to be able to witness and to be able to visualize and see the butterfly because they're beautiful, and to see their transformation. And part of the story that Spirit is trying to tell with your life is this energy of the transformation, of being able to witness who you are before, what happens during the initiation process, during the chrysalis, and who you become afterwards. And Spirit kind of wants to show you off as this example, this shining example of what transformation and trusting in the process can do. But in order to show you off, and in order for you to be a walking example of the gifts of God, of the gift of spirits and divine light, you need to be seen. So it's kind of time to come out of the shadows, take off the veil, take off this hermit mode, and step into your power. And step into friendship. It will be replenishing for you. It will be deeply healing for you. And it will be really confirming of the fact that Spirit exists within all of us. You will be able to have physical manifestations of Spirit through the friendships in your life. And that is such a gift. Okay. Any closing messages for pile 1 or deck number 1? Starseed, what lights you up? Yeah, that was the first. Oh my God, look. And we have like all the same cards. I just saw 333 with 13. Mintaken, longing for home again. Just say yes. What lights you up? Starseed. Do something to change your energy. Dance with life. Yes. What lights you up, Starseed? What makes you feel good? What makes you want to dance? What adds brightness to your day? It's time to follow where your heart leads you. Be more intentional about noticing when you feel happiest during the day. What are you doing? If you spend a lot of time on social media, don't put any judgment towards that. Instead, when you're on social media, look at what you have the most heartwarming reactions to. What do you tend to zero in on? What makes you feel like, oh my God, I want to do that? What are the things that spark joy for you when you're looking at whatever you're looking at on social media? When you're going about your day, what are the things that you feel pulled to do? And maybe whether you do them or not, don't judge that. But what do you just feel pulled to? Those are the things that you want to go invest your time in, because that's where you're going to find the people that you're looking for. That's where you're going to start to find your community. And part of that is, I feel like there's definitely a creative aspect to this. So, self expression, engaging in the arts, taking a creative class is a great way to find people who you are connected to, because people who are engaged in creative classes often are being very vulnerable and are often very open and ready to engage in community. They're people who are also looking for other people, and that's exactly what you want, people who are open to being loved and to loving. So, yes, that is your reading, pile one, deck one, with the Work Your Light tarot or oracle. I don't know, maybe you should read tarot. I don't know why. And the color like light blue just came to mind. Like maybe as your aura color as a group. Oh my god. Mintalkin again. Maybe they want me to read it. Mintalkin, belonging. Wow. The original lightworkers longing for home. That is so interesting. That's like it's come out again. I will read it. Mintalkin. So you guys are obviously starseeds. I mean, Mintakans are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original lightworkers. The Mintakans' home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintakans feel most at peace and at home wherein and around crystal clear water. To teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings is why they are here. The Mintakans have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are a Mintakan or are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. Work Your Light transmission. Hold the card to your heart and say, this is the card. I allow myself to truly be here and at home on this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held and call in the perfect home. Okay, so that is your reading, pile one. Thank you very much. Okay, pile two, which is the Goddess Power Oracle. Let us see, Spirit, what are the messages from the higher self of pile two? The higher selves of pile two. What is going on? Oh my gosh, haven't seen her in a while. The Great Queen, the Morgan, Death and Magic. Okay. Nike, Ambition. Is it Nike or is it Nike? Nike, Ambition, Death and Magic. Green, Tara, Salvation. And then we have the Moon, Gaia, and Lilith, Independence. That's interesting. Okay. So, what are the message for pile two? Oh, well, that's interesting because we have 38 and 39 here. So we have a succession. And then we have salvation here with 18. 8, 3, 6, 9. That's not 3, it would be 11. 2, 3. Still. Okay. Well, with Death and Magic here, and then with it being followed by Nike Ambition, there's this energy of like you are being recreated or you are being sculpted within death energy right now. Like you could be in the middle of um I mean, obviously a transformation, but a transition period. You could be in the middle of kind of a death and a rebirth. Um, because it feels like right now you are being held in the darkness so that you can become fully formed. Because it's almost like it's like almost like spirit is holding you right now because they're like, when we release you, you are going to you're going to be immediately on your path. You're going to be immediately set into doing the work that you're meant to do here. So, we're holding you here right now because it's almost like you're going to come out like fully developed. Like whatever this death is, once this death is over and you enter the rebirth state, you are going to enter that rebirth state fully formed. You're going to enter that rebirth state at full maturity. So there's not going to be any time or space to like grow up or to like be a novice or to like learn the ropes. That's not what this season of your life is about. Like this death and rebirth is happening so that you can enter into this new space at like full speed ahead and just kind of immediately get to work, immediately begin to create. And so right now you're being held so that you can get everything you need because you're going to enter into the space with everything you need, literally. So right now you're being held so that you can get everything you need to do the work that you're going to be doing. Um, Whatever it is, it's obviously healing work, and it's work that requires a lot of patience and and spiritual energy. Like this is work that obviously taps into the other realms and has something to do with like yeah, with salvation, that has something to do with like clearing of spirits and revitalizing and rejuvenating and bringing in different frequencies. It feels like you're going to be working a lot with the body and moving energy around, and a lot with like air energy and trying to understand how to um, kind of almost like tied together people's ancestries, like making weaving ancestral lines and helping people to uh, become aligned or kind of helping people straighten out, not having things be so messy and disconnected or you know, all of the ropes tied together. It's like untangling like a necklace or untangling a knot is kind of what you're going to be doing with ancestral lines. And so, but in order to do that kind of work, you really need to be clear headed and you really need to know what you're doing like immediately. Like I don't feel like you're going to have the time to kind of find a mentor or anything like that. It's almost like overnight you are going to just be entering into this space of mastery, from novice to master. And it is going to be, and that's why you're being held by death energy, you're being held by darkness, because you're going to be given a lot of these gifts and a lot of this new awareness so quickly that it might feel kind of overwhelming because it's like you're coming out of the womb like running. Um, you know, like you skip crawling, skip being held, skip walking, and you just run. But it's going to be good because you're going to be able, like, this, your time is very valuable. And it's not that spirit is in a rush, but there's kind of this energy of like, we don't want to waste any time. Like, this isn't a lifetime where you are just meant to kind of not lollygag, but like just kind of do whatever and just like figure it out and like have a human experience. This is a lifetime where you are meant to be doing work, specific healing work. And so we need you to kind of get to it really quickly. So you just might be receiving like a lot of energetic upgrades and like spiritual downloads during this time of transition, because you're literally like being crafted by the darkness and also by the universe. It feels like a huge collaboration between like goddesses of transformation. It could even really be the Great Queen, the Morgan. But definitely this energy of like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like out of this death state into your rebirth. You come out fully formed and on fire, ready to begin. And so, but when you do step into this new beginning, there's this energy of really trusting in your gifts and trusting in your abilities, because there's not really any time to doubt yourself. Like, you really need to come in on fire. And that might be triggering for certain people. That might create a certain perception around you of cockiness or just self centeredness or just like overly confident. And it is important to balance everything and make sure that you are not being a jerk, but I don't think you're going to be. I think it's kind of just this energy of like, you have the gifts that you have and they're undeniable, at least for you. And maybe for other people, they don't understand, but it's not for them to understand. But there is this energy of not giving too much attention to how you might be perceived, because it is going to feel like pretty quick for people, and they might have questions about what, like, how qualified you are, or whether you know what you're really doing, and whether you should have a teacher, a mentor, or whatever. But you've been given these gifts directly from the divine. You've been given these gifts, you've been touched by God. So it's not really something that can be explained, and everybody else can kind of just like fuck off, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. Like, that's just what it is. It's as simple as that. Like, you have a very specific purpose, and whatever you need to be doing, it needs to get done. So it's kind of like spirit doesn't want anything getting in the way, and they don't want you to waste your time dealing with anybody. Yeah, look at that. Illusion and Shakti transformation. Maya, illusion, Shakti transformation, and then we have these cards over here. But yeah, it's like this energy of, and it's also like pay attention to what comes up during this, because you're not on the other side yet. You have not been released yet. I think you'll know when you're released, when you're being pushed out the womb and you're back into life again. But you are in the death state right now. So there is this energy of paying attention to what's coming up right now during this time. Like, what are you attracted to? What are the images that you are seeing? What are you visualizing? What are you thinking about a lot? What are you dreaming about a lot? Because that can give you hints. That might give you hints into, it's interesting because it's like, it gives you hints into what you are being, what you're going to be ushered into during this time, but it's also giving you hints into as to what's being broken down. Like with Maya here with illusion, I see the number 8 being prevalent to you in terms of addressing cycles that are being born, because everything is a cycle. So addressing the cycles that are going to be born with you during this rebirth, and addressing the cycles that will not carry on into this new life that you are entering into. And so there's this energy of really making sure that you take note of everything that's come up and everything that seems to be leaving. What is really interesting to you during this time? What is piquing your interest? What is triggering you? I just feel like you should take notes, because I also feel like what is interesting about your life is that you are kind of like a study for transformation, kind of similar to the first pile, but different, in the sense that, like, it's kind of like transformation on like steroids or on crack. Like, you're transforming really quickly, and it's not gradual. Like, it's not going to take your whole life. It's really like a few months. You undergo this really deep, like, spiritual surgery to be put into your like highest self, or just like to have your crown chakra cracked open so that you can really do this work. And it's almost like you are a study for how this will work down in the spirit, down on earth. Like, how beneficial is this process, and how conducive is this process to helping heal, helping people heal, and helping heal ancestral lines. Because we kind of need to work faster right now on this planet. Like, there's just so many people, and there are so many beings, and there's so much energy happening, and that we need like master alchemists. We need master healers. We don't have time for everybody to be like learning and like having like a joyful education, like where it's like long and drawn out. It kind of needs to be the people who can do the work need to be able to do it quickly. And when you come down to this planet, sometimes you are aware of all of your gifts, or sometimes you're not. And sometimes it has to be given to you once you get down here. And that process can be spread out, or it can be just plopped on you, or you can be taken into spiritual surgery so that your ancestors and your spirit guides can literally input all of your gifts into you and then send you back out, and it's almost like you're a new person, because it's like you've been upgraded like 10 times into your highest self, that maybe somebody else, it would have taken them like 40 years to get to that point, but you get to it in a couple months, or you get to it in I would hope not a couple days. That seems intense, but like a couple months or like a year. So there is this real energy of you kind of being a case study for this like rapid transformation to create master healers, or to allow people who are already master healers in the soul realm to come down here and do the work they need to do immediately or quickly. So there's also this energy of taking note of your experience of within this death state, so that you can kind of be able to recollect on what it feels like to go through such an intense transformation, and to go through such an intense death state. What that feels like, you know, what does it feel like, basically. And then you have, yeah, but I do feel like the crown chakra, it's really connected to, and the third eye. Um, and then assurance, wisdom, and forgiveness. Assurance, wisdom, and forgiveness. Assurance and forgiveness. I know. That's everlasting. But this one, I do, again, I see like, it might also be because you are going to be like a bit of like a surgeon in the type of way. And I feel like specifically working with the crown chakra and the heart chakra, you might be doing a lot of work around helping people um, heal, like helping people heal from the hurt, and helping people learn how to master energies around forgiveness, and around like groundedness in your sense of self, and just tap into really old wisdom. Like, it almost could be you are kind of like this gateway back into like the ancient, and especially because you were having ancestral energy pop up with you a lot. Like, you might be somebody for whom people go to kind of remember their like original, their origin, so people can understand like the wisdom that is already living within them, so that they can start to move from a place of empowerment, and not have to seek out so much, because it kind of begins to destroy your spirit a little bit when you are always seeking, and you can never come from a place of mastery. And it's almost like you are becoming a master so quickly, so you can teach people how to remember how to be their own master, so that you can teach people how to be their own healer. Because ultimately, healers are going to move from always doing this hands-on work to just being teachers, and everybody being able to heal themselves, and then moving into a whole new level of understanding, and of work to do. I feel like as a planet and as a species, right now we're going through this evolution where we're not going to need such hands-on work, like when it comes to like medicine and healing, spiritual medicine, and maybe even physical medicine, because people are going to literally be learning how to do this themselves, and we're going to be moving to a whole new level of understanding. And it might be more engaged in the elusive, it might be more engaged in Maya and in death energy and darkness energy. But so there's like this energy of you being here now to help usher in that switch, help usher in that shift through teaching people how to be their own masters, through tapping back into this wisdom, this ancient energy of your connection to this wholeness in your being, and these spiritual gifts that come from just being a soul. You know, they're not a it's a gift to us as human beings down here in the 3D, but as a soul, it's just being a soul. So it's tapping into that understanding and feeling confident in it and assured by your own life and your own existence, to the point where you are able to move from this space with trust and mastery and begin to truly heal at a level that, you know, raises the consciousness and the vibration of us all. So that is your message. I'm pretty sure that is your message. Is there anything to add? She said, give me a shot. Goddesses, is there anything to add for pile 2? Goodness gracious. And that's the truth. Ooh, romantic love. And you won't have to do this alone. You might be doing this in a partnership. You might be doing this with teaching, but I also do think that this has something to do with the heart chakra. And again, this energy of, devotion, like learning how to, because like part of this energy of mastery is whenever you've mastered anything, you've mastered love. And there's this energy of realizing that the truth is in the heart. The truth is in what you can feel and what you allow yourself to feel. And you can master anything if you allow yourself to feel it. That's what it's all about, even with forgiveness. Allowing yourself to feel everything and not shame anything, and just accept all of it as it is. And that leads you to a deeper truth, which leads you to a very old wisdom that we all already know, but sometimes we forget. And there's this energy of a new beginning coming out of this place of self-devoted kindness and compassion and devotion to your own salvation, which leads to your own transformation, which leads to you being able to help transform the lives of others. And there could potentially be like this partner that you are working with, but it also just feels like this very aligned energy with love in general, and that being healing for you. Okay. So, thank you so much, pile 2. Goddess power, thank you to your higher self and to the goddesses. Okay. Pile 3. My number is no. You need to let it go. Okay, this is pile 3. Pile 3, this is your reading. What is going on with pile 3? What is going on with pile 3? You chose the Angel Oracle. Ooh. Blessings in abundance. I get money in abundance. I'm like, is it? Ooh. Inner child healing. Oh. There's this energy of recognizing, of not feeling controlled by like beauty standards and recognizing your own inner beauty. Especially if you dealt with trauma as a child around feeling beautiful and around feeling deserving of love and protection because of your because of beauty. Whether you didn't feel beautiful or whatever, there's this energy of moving beyond that. Hold on. And I feel like you might have gone through a stage of like not being seen and hiding yourself. And even there's this energy of like you might have gone through a phase of hiding yourself spiritually because you felt ashamed of your own, of what you perceive to be your own lack of beauty. And it's hard because sometimes it's so hard because with human psychology and then even what we do with spirituality, like we use beauty that often aligns with the beauty standard um, as a marker of our own divinity and our connection to God and spirit. And you always see very beautiful people being called angels, and there's a lot of beauty attachments to like spiritual health and things like that. And there's a lot of things that if you don't fit the beauty standard, you can in you can start to feel isolated from your own spirituality, just because you can start to feel like there are things that are wrong with you, or else you would be beautiful. I don't know. There's this energy of pushing out that noise and the perceptions of others and beginning again and restarting. Okay. Clear, cancel, and release. Huh. Well, there's this energy of learning how to heal your own perception of self, and also learning like how to fix the mirror, like how to fix what the mirror sees, and how to fix what you see within the mirror. Like there's this energy of fixing your perception of the reflection and fixing what a mirror holds within itself. And it has everything to do with being seen. It's like if we only see people who fit the beauty standard creating spiritual guidance, and if those are the only spiritual creators that we support, then of course we're going to attach a certain look or a certain aesthetic of beauty to spirituality and to divinity. It's just what's going to happen. And so there's this need to kind of make sure that you are showing up. Yeah, make sure that you are being a leader in this space and not allowing yourself to fall to the background if you recognize that you are not seen and you don't see yourself and you want to be seen, especially because you have a lot to offer, and you have a lot to offer particularly within your own darkness. There's a vibrancy to it. There's a life to it, and it needs to be seen. Everything is not light. Everything is not just light. It's not just light and love. And I know we all know that, but sometimes it can be hard when you are just made of darkness. Some people are, and there's nothing wrong with them. But when you don't get to see that perception a lot, then you would look at them and think that there is something off, or that there's just more light that needs to be added to them. But they're perfect the way they are. Like Spirit made some of us in full darkness, and we were just pure full dark. And that's it. And that's beautiful too. And darkness as a beauty looks very different from light. Looks very different from the balance of light and darkness. If you are full on dark, that's a very different experience. And there's a need for those people to show up right now and take a stand and represent. Start creating your own teachings. Start being a teacher. Start being a healer. You are a healer too, and we need your energy. You have a different way of healing. You have a different way of showing up. But we need to see that. And it starts with healing this relationship with the inner child and making sure that they feel safe and they feel worthy of protection and they feel worthy of being being visible and being connected to being loved. It's almost like if you could take a step back and see it from God's perception, or see it from God's point of view, then you would understand that it was never the intention to have light be prioritized over darkness. It was just what happens naturally when certain things are triggering and why we want to push them away, and other things feel easier to handle, and where we naturally gravitate as human beings because of our psychology based off of just what is easier to understand. It's not super easy to understand darkness. It's complicated. But there's this energy of actually not cutting yourself off from your life source energy. Not cutting yourself off from what makes you so unique and what makes you so pivotal to this planet right now. You were created in the way that you were created, in the form that you were created, with the energy you were created with, because it was needed. It brings balance to this energy on Earth right now, and you need to stand in that fully and completely. And don't allow it to be lightened. You know, like there's this energy of like you're like a dark person, and that's good. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. You're dark. And that you take that for whatever it means, because for some people it could mean ugly. And this world, we have a really shaky connection with that word. But it exists for a reason, and beyond it being insulting, there are many of us who fit within that category during certain times, and not because we're ugly in the sense that we're not beautiful, but because it's a different type of beauty. It absolutely is. It's not the same as someone who gets to be a Victoria's Secret model, but it's very needed, and it tells a lot about the complexity of human beings. And to deny that we're different, that it's a different kind of beauty, makes no sense. But also to pretend as if there's anything wrong with it also doesn't make any sense. There's nothing wrong with it. And when you can learn to reclaim that experience, you find yourself evolving to a really, really empowering place, a really uplifted place, because your sense of worthiness and value no longer relies on and is no longer connected to whatever society has to say, whatever they deem to be important or attractive at the time. It just moves way beyond that, and you become connected to your mother, darkness, and she's calling you home because she has things to tell you and gifts to tell you and gifts to give you and stories to tell you. Take a step back. Okay. Give me 1 second. Especially if you have scars. If you have scars on your body, like this is especially for you. Cut the cords and take a step back. And hold on, sorry. Okay, there's this energy of like the answers are not coming through in fullness, and it's almost like needing to kind of allow yourself to follow down the path and just wait to see what is going to become. But part of like raising your vibration or stepping into your truth is realizing that the entire truth is not going to come to you immediately, and sometimes you just have to be willing. But there's this energy of not even trying to just figure it out, but just simply accepting the messages as they come and moving with it and flowing with it, but not trying to understand everything immediately, and finding some type of harmony within that. And like right now I'm like doubting myself because I'm wondering whether that initial opening message was necessary at all, whether it was actually a part of this reading or not, or whether I just like got carried away and went down a spiral. And I'm not entirely sure. Like I'm trying to see whether that initial message was a part of the message or not. Hmm. Sometimes we get hooked on finding the truth that we can be misguided or misdirected. Yeah, there's like a need to pivot. Harmony and resolution. It's so interesting because the same cards keep coming out, and that's been the pattern for the entire reading. Okay, what's the last message? Okay, Spirit, we ask you for clarity. Ask for clarity on what the message is for pile 3. What is the message for pile 3? Clarity. 3. Clarity. Um, Inner child healing, ease and grace, healing energy. So healing, and then ease and grace. It's just this energy, it feels like allowing yourself to be held, but I'm going to read. Okay, so inner child healing. Your inner child is the part of our psyche that represents our childhood. Everyone, no matter who they are, has had traumatic childhood experiences that may be impacting their life today. And you have endured so much in your life. You are a real survivor. Drawing this card indicates that no matter what has happened, you have found a way forward, and you may feel that you have had to grow up quickly and abandon your innocence in order to survive. But know that when you reflect, review, and release anything from your childhood that could be holding you back, the next phase of your life will be supported. This isn't about forgetting, but taking the time to send loving energy to your inner child and to assure them that they do make it through and become the incredible person you are today. This card brings radical healing, understanding, and love to your inner child. It shows that your guardian angel is wrapping their loving arms around you right now, nurturing your inner child and encouraging you to unleash your childlike senses. See the world through the eyes of a child. There is so much more wonder and opportunity there. It's time for some fun. What can you do to feel light? What can you do to express yourself? Have you stopped yourself from doing something because you feel you're too old for it now? It's time to reclaim your innocence and express yourself in a way that is filled with excitement, wonder, and adventure. It's time for your inner child to be healed. And then we have ease and grace. This is a time to learn and adapt. You are being guided to slow down, take your time, take in the current moment, and allow space for events to occur. You often put too much pressure and expectation on yourself, and this is not required. Also, with constant effort and rush, you'll find yourself becoming overwhelmed and tired. When you are too forceful, you use up too much energy that may hinder your progress at this time. If you are in a difficult situation at work or with other people, don't feel you have to prove your skills, talents, or worth. Just step back and breathe, and through grace, you will be seen, understood, and recognized for who you truly are. You are being guided to flow like water. Don't feel the need to rush or force your way ahead. A gentle approach will be more rewarding. Have patience and move with subtlety and grace. Your angel guide is encouraging you to see life as a dance. One step at a time, you will make your way through this incredible journey, learning more and growing along the way. How can you move with more elegance? How can you slow down? How can you bring more grace and poise to your current situation? This is a time to soften, breathe, and move in a way that is steady but flowing. This information may come as a surprise or even a challenge to you, but your angels know it will be beneficial for what is coming your way next. And then healing energy. Angels are enveloping you in healing energy at this time. They are swirling around you, filling your body, mind, and soul with the soothing and peaceful light. They are guiding you to receive this healing and energy and allow your body time to return to its natural state of goodness. Healing is actually an energy that goes beyond the body. It's the return to a natural and good state. Healing angels are placing their hands upon you and any situations that may be concerning you at this time. Know that the miracles you are seeking are unfolding before your eyes. You are blessed to receive this card today because the energy it brings will mend any breakages, wounds, or emotionally raw situations that are troubling your heart. If anything in your life is broken or disrupted, this card indicates that healing energy is being brought to it. Your angels want you to know that any prayers or calls for help and support you have sent out have been received and that they are working on the case now. Healing doesn't happen tomorrow, it begins today. So you are guided to visualize the best and most loving outcome possible in all areas of your life. See angels of light placing their hands upon anything that may be of concern, and know that when you do this, you allow healing energy to unfold in the present moment. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Bye.